Alright, hey guys, this video is going to go over some more equations with fractions. Please make sure you take notes. Alright, so first thing, just a quick refresher. I just want to remind you that we can do anything to an equation as long as we do it to both sides. Okay, so we could add a -4 to both sides. I would just have to do that to that side as well. You can also times by anything. You just need to make sure you do it to the other side. So if I'm timesing by 3, I got to do everything over here times 3 and everything over here times 3. So that's just a quick refresher that whatever you do to one side, you can do to the other. Just make sure it's the same thing. Okay, on your notes, please put a little smiley face on the corner of the bottom corner of wherever you're taking your notes. All right, so here is one problem that we're going to do. I'd like you to copy this down. So push pause so you can copy it down. All right, so we want to solve this equation. Now, first thing you might notice, we have fractions. We want to get rid of those fractions. So yesterday in the video, I told you guys that you need to look at the denominators. Okay, one denominator is 3, this one's 5. There's nothing under the 16, so if you want, you can put a 1 under there. You don't have to. Okay, so now we want to try to figure out, well, what's something that all three of these can go into? Well, 5 and 3, they both go into 15. So I can times everything by 15. So I'm going to put parentheses around it. I'm going to times every single thing by 15. Okay, so now when I do that, if it helps you, put a 1 underneath the 15. Okay, you can do that. So now here's what I'm going to times. When I multiply fractions, I go straight across the top and then straight across the bottom. So 15 times x, that would give me 15x. On the bottom, I have 1 times 3, which would give me 3. Okay, keep your plus sign in the middle. Now I'm going to times up here. I'm going to do 15 times x and then 1 times 5. So 15 times x is 15x, and 1 times 5 is 5. Equals, on this side, I'm going to do 16 times 15, and I have a calculator, so I'll type that in for us. And we get 240, and then 1 times 1, which is 1. Okay, now when you have that step done, that's pretty good. Now our goal is to get rid of the fractions, which is what we're going to do here, and by dividing. Remember, these lines here can mean divide. So this actually means take 15x, divide it by 3. Or take 15x's, split it into 3 groups. Well, 15 divided by 3 gives me 5, and I still have the x there. Plus, now in this one we have to do 15x split into 5. So 15 divided by 5 is 3. And then there's that x equals, over here it says 240 divided by 1. Well, that's 240. Okay, now I can draw my line down through the equal sign and solve it just like I normally solve equations. Okay, so I'm going to combine these like terms. 5 and 3 is 8x equals 240. My last step is just to divide by 8. Okay, over here, 8 divided by 8, that's just 1x. And 240 divided by 8, that gives me 30. So my answer is x equals 30. All right, we're going to do another one. Before we do that, though, I'd like you to go ahead and in the top corner of your paper, put a little check mark. All right, here is our next problem. It says parentheses 2x minus 3 all over 6 equals 2x over 3 plus a half. So go ahead, push pause and write that one down. All right, let's go ahead and go through it. So same thing, we want to get rid of these fractions. So we need to figure out, well, what's something that 6, 3, and 2 all go into? Well, I think they all go into 6. So we're going to times everything by 6. So I kind of draw a big set of parentheses around there to show I'm timesing. So I'm timesing everything here by 6. Now again, remember I told you if it helps you, put a 1 underneath the 6. Okay, so now we're going to come and times across the top and across the bottom here. Okay, now this first one's a little tricky because it has 6 times everything inside here. So I have to think I need to do 6 times the first thing and 6 times the second thing. So if I do 6 times 2x, well, 6 times 2 is 12. That gives me 12x. There's a minus sign. And then if I do 6 times 3, that's 18. sorry, which is 18. I just kind of got mixed up there. So I'll put my 18 there. Okay, and then across the bottom, 1 times 6 is 6. Okay, I got my equal sign. So now I'm going to come times over here. I'm going to do 6 times 2x and then 1 times 3. Well, 6 times 2x, that's 12x. And 1 times 3, that's 3. Then I still have my plus sign. And then I need to times 6 times 1 and 1 times 2. Well, 6 times 1 is 6. And 1 times 2 is 2. Okay, so now I have some fractions here still. My goal is to get rid of those. So I'm going to divide this out. Now, it says to take all of this divided by 6. That means basically I got to do both things here divided by 6. So if I do the 12x divided by 6 first, that gives me 2x minus. Now I'm going to do the 18 divided by 6, which is 3. And then I have equals. Okay, over here, I'm going to do 12 divided by 3, which is 4x, plus 6 divided by 2 right here is 3. Okay, now I have just a normal equation. So I'm going to work that out. And I'm going to go on the next page and write this down so I can do it. So 2x minus 3 equals 4x plus 3. Okay, I'm going to draw my line down through my equal sign. First thing I'd want to do is move x's. So I'm going to take 2 x's away from both sides. That side cancels. Over here, I'm just left with 2x plus 3 equals, ooh, be careful here, negative 3. Okay, now I want to get the 2x by itself, so I got to get rid of this 3 over here. So I'm going to add a negative 3. Cancel it out. I'm going to add a negative 3, which gives me negative 6. Equals 2x. All right, I only have one more step, and you guys know this one. Divide by 2. Just a reminder, 2 divided by 2 is 1. That's why it's just 1x equals, now I got to figure out negative 6 split in half. Well, negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. So x equals negative 3. Okay, on your notes, I want you to go ahead and write a G in the top right or left corner of your paper. So I want you to put a G for Go Green Bay Packers up in the corner of your paper as well. Okay, you have one more problem I would like you to try, and I want you just to do this in your notes. So this is the third problem. Okay, you are going to try this one by yourself. Make sure you show your work and bring your notes to class tomorrow. And then one last thing, I'd like you to put your initials on another corner of your paper. So like my initials would be T.O. So you put your initials on your paper somewhere. All right, see you tomorrow in class.